NCIS has been going strong for 19 seasons at this point. While the show is known for drama, mystery, and a whole lot of crime solving, one of the reasons it's been so successful for so long is because the show really knows how to make its audience laugh. And in today's video, we're talking about some of the funniest NCIS moments that fans simply cannot stop talking about. So let's get into it. First, Gibbs versus technology. Leroy Jethro Gibbs, played by the wonderful Mark Harmon, is good at a lot of things. He's great at his job and can solve pretty much any crime. He's also great at mentoring his fellow NCIS agents, and guess what? He can even craft a boat all by himself. But everyone has their kryptonite, right? And for Gibbs, that's technology. Anytime he has to use modern-day tech, he's completely clueless, and we end up getting some of the most hilarious scenes of the entire TV show. Reddit user ClassicBull9940 said that their favorite NCIS moments are every time Gibbs gets stumped with technology, and they even gave some examples such as the time he tried to find a QR code in a painting using his flip phone camera. They also mentioned the time Gibbs of all people went undercover as an IT expert to solve a case. And yes, that scene goes about as awkwardly as you'd expect. Still, you gotta commend him for going out of his comfort zone. Next, Gibbs and Fornell find Diane and McGee on the couch. Fornell's reaction to seeing Diane and McGee on the couch is one of the most iconic and hilarious moments of the show. We first see Gibbs looking expressionlessly at the two characters sleeping together on the couch, and then Fornell walks into the room. Let's just say his reaction is not muted at all. He looks shocked when he sees the pair and yells, "Holy 4th of July weenie roast, what the hell am I looking at?" Actor Joe Spano's delivery of the line is absolutely perfect, and his voice gets progressively louder as he says this. It's made even funnier by Gibbs' reaction because he looks completely speechless. When McGee wakes up, he immediately says, "Boss, it's not what it looks like," to which Gibbs replies by asking him, "What does it look like?" And obviously, McGee has no answer to that. Many fans have said that this is their favorite moment of the show, and in fact, Fornell saying the weenie roast line has even become a popular internet meme. The show is aware of this since it even references this moment later on. Diane says the same thing when she sees Gibbs laying on the couch and holding one of his ex-wives. And of course, fans loved this moment as well. And now, Abby vows to crucify the person who frames Tony for murder. In season 3 of the show, Tony gets framed for murder, and all evidence suggests that he has in fact committed the crime. Abby is of course extremely bothered and upset because of this, and when she finds out that he didn't actually do anything wrong, she responds with a monologue that is without a doubt one of the funniest moments of the entire show. She uses a gospel preacher accent and says that she'll rise up and find the person who did this to Tony, and ends by saying that, "And I will crucify him." What makes this even funnier is that her voice is echoing when she says this, and her assistant slowly turns away from her. We can't forget when they find a dead body in a chimney. In the season 4 episode Smoked, our characters find a dead body in a chimney, and somehow the show even finds humor in this. Tony tells Duck that the poor dead guy looks like a piece of beef jerky. Gibbs asks Duck how the person died, and he replies by saying that he's still figuring out the why of it, because the body had been literally smoked inside that chimney. When Ziva says smoked in disbelief, Duck replies by saying, "Yeah, like a fine cut of meat." Tony immediately says, "So he really is a beef jerky." Never change, Tony, never change. Up next, you should wash your hands with soap for saying that. In the 3rd episode of the first season of Sea Dog, Tony tries to speak sign language and Gibbs isn't one to let anything go. He immediately responds by saying that Tony should wash his hands in the soap for saying that. And you know what? He's kinda right. Making up signs isn't really considered polite by the deaf community. One fan recalled the moment on Twitter and said that the scene where Gibbs says that to Tony was the moment they fell in love with the show because they just couldn't stop laughing. Now for when Tony's friends steal his possessions. In season 5, when Tony supposedly dies, we find out that his coworkers immediately started stealing his stuff. In fact, they even confess to doing so. Ziva has stolen his letter opener and Palmer has taken his American Pie coffee mug. When he asks where his Mickey Mouse stapler is, we cut to Ducky attempting to stealthily return the stapler, but Tony spots him doing so. Ducky immediately says, "My dear fellow, I never believed it for a moment. Welcome home." We love how he came up with that spontaneously. What's a book without pictures? In the 17th season of the show, Ducky gives Gibbs a book on Greek mythology and expresses how happy he is that Gibbs is taking an interest in a profound and detailed historical knowledge. knowledge. But he clearly overestimated Gibbs' interest in reading. He disappoints Ducky by saying that hope there's pictures and just kind of skims through the book. Safe to say, Gibbs still doesn't know what an Achilles heel really is. Now, there's a hidden unicorn. In the Season 6 episode Cloak, Ziva asks a soldier about a military base, but he refuses to answer and says the information is classified. Tony, always the funny guy, immediately responds by asking the soldier what they've hidden in there. Then he questions if aliens, Bigfoot, and the Ark of the Covenant are present on the base. He ends by saying that only one thing is left. And of course, all three of Ziva, Tony, and McGee say unicorn in unison. You gotta admit, that's kind of wholesome. Gibbs has a father. In the Season 6 episode Heartland, the investigation takes place in Gibbs' hometown. Soon, our characters make the startling discovery that their boss Gibbs has a father, which leads to one of the funniest scenes of the show, where Tony, Ziva, and McGee make some very creative jokes about Gibbs' birth. Tony jokes that his mind is spinning with questions and exclaims that Gibbs actually came from somewhere. He didn't just appear as the larger-than-life figure that we now know him to be, and was once a boy like everyone else. Ziva responds by saying she thought he was molded from clay and had life breathed into him by a group of mystics. Good one, Ziva. McGee makes a reference to Superman and said that he thought Gibbs fell to Earth in a capsule after his planet exploded. And they don't stop here either. Tony says that Gibbs is the avatar of Vishnu and he was grown in a cabbage patch. And we don't blame them. It can be kind of shocking to realize that even your boss was once a little child. Up next, Abby brings out her inner Sherlock. In the Season 7 episode Borderland, Abby goes all Sherlock on a rude Mexican policewoman and starts scanning her. She starts talking to her in a manner that fans laugh about to this day. She says, "1 orange tabby and 2 calicos. You're allergic to citrus." Abby also tells the policewoman that she went bowling last night and is vitamin D deficient. She even ends up telling her that she's ovulating. Hey Abby, invasive much? Maybe she should replace Benedict Cumberbatch in the 5th season of BBC's Sherlock. Abby versus Moriarty? We're game. Finally, McGee and Tony go to a couples therapy. There's no doubt that Timothy McGee and Anthony DiNozzo's pairing is one of the best things about the show. Their constant bickering is pretty hilarious and they often fight much like married couples. Despite this, they also have one of the most heartwarming relationships on the show. One of their funniest scenes together comes when they visit a couples therapist while they're investigating a case. When they're sitting on the couch bickering like always, the therapist comes out and asks them if they're here for a session. Tim tries to explain they're the cops, but Tony jokes and says that Tim doesn't have to worry and they can be themselves there. Fans love their bromance and were pretty disappointed when the actor who plays Tony, Michael Weatherly, left the show. Still, their scenes together bring back some great memories for long-term fans. And that's a wrap for today's video. What are your favorite comedic moments from NCIS? Please let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.